I'm Eric Skovsted, and my wife Mary and I own Joe's Brook Farm in Barnet, Vermont. It's about a 10-acre vegetable farm, and we grow 2 acres of strawberries, organic, certified organic. And the challenge for us is growing them profitably and getting great yields. And so the way to sort of address that is to try and do an enterprise analysis of different production systems. There's really kind of 3 systems out there. One's a fall plug planting, one's a spring planting of a bare root plant, and then with that there's also keep the runners and sort of plant less plants, or you can remove the runners and just get really large individual plants. And so we're going to try and look at all those with another variable of doing some in plastic and some just on bare ground, as my traditionally, all with drip, and try and see which one works best for a farm of our scale in terms of maximizing yields and then sort of and being most cost effective.
And again, it was an enterprise analysis, so we were looking at all the input costs, all the establishment costs, and then all the harvest data in terms of yields. It's a 2-year study because strawberry plantings are, you have your establishment year and then you have your fruiting year. We found that it cost between about, it ranged between $7,000 to $9,000 to establish an acre of strawberries, depending on the system. The most expensive to establish was the fall plugs, just because of the cost of the plants, where you have, over $5,000 just in the plant cost. And then the least expensive was, a matted row system, where you don't have the plastic and you're planting less plants. And when it was all said and done, we were really surprised. We discovered that the trials where we set runners, so where additional runners were allowed to grow to supplement the strawberry bed, either in the matted row where they would set themselves in the traditional sense, but mostly where we set them by hand, filling up the whole bed of plastic, we had dramatically better yields than in the varieties either of the fall planted berries or of the trial where we actually just removed the runners, and hoped to have more production from that original mother plant. In terms of what we found over 10,000 pounds per acre from the varieties where we set runners in plastic, and that differed from where we removed the runners by more than 4,000 pounds. So almost a 4,000 pound difference per acre from setting runners to removing runners. And that was certainly significant and surprised us. The more certain project outcomes is we will keep growing Jewel because we like that variety. But when we grow Jewel, we will always set runners. We will never remove the runners from that plant. We are really glad we did the study. I think it can help a lot of young strawberry growers who aren't too entrenched in a given system to help steer them in one way. And the important thing to remember is don't let upfront costs to establishing strawberries scare you. In the end, whether it's using plastic or using drip tape or just planting them in a field in a traditional matted rowway, there aren't that great of differences. But you're probably going to see some huge yield increases if you manage your runners correctly.